Hello from Kensington Security Consulting, where we bring education to national security. This episode is called Getting Stabby: Muslims, Knives, and the West. An interesting title? Brace yourself for an unconventional talk. Muslim stabbing frenzies are much in the news these days. Last week, one occurred in New York. Mayor Mamdani explained, I have been briefed on today's horrifying stabbings on the Upper West Side, where an Asian man and a Jewish man were attacked. According to witness and victim statements, the perpetrator yelled Allahu Akbar during both attacks. I am relieved that both victims are in stable condition. The NYPD responded immediately and arrested Raul Morales in connection with both assaults, and I am grateful to the officers for their swift response. The NYPD's initial investigation suggests that mental health may have been a factor. Let's examine this statement because it is more thorough than many others describing similar stabbing attacks. The mayor identified the perpetrator by name, the victim's race and religion, and the perpetrator's shout, Allahu Akbar. He added that the perpetrator's mental health may have been a factor. Okay. In my view, this was a succinct response that may have been embellished by speculation about mental health. Many European responses to stabbings have been far more anodyne and vague. They are less likely to mention the race or religion of the victims or the perpetrator. They are very guarded about speculating on motives, even when the perpetrator yells Allahu Akbar. Why? Here's where a great debate begins, one I've discussed many times before. It is driven by control of information. If Islamofascists control the vocabulary and terms of discussion, they control perspectives and understanding of Islam. But let's shelve this for now and go back to the New York stabbing. Mayor Mamdani could hardly deny the scream of Allahu Akbar, but he did not need to include it. Fine, but notice the mental health issue. Is this an escape hatch for the Islamic component of the attack? If somebody is mentally ill, the motives may be obscure because the assailant cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. And this is a high bar for insanity and refers to people who are floridly psychotic by clinical standards. But the term mental health is broad and unclear. We all become very agitated, angry, depressed, elated at some time in our lives. In my view, the mental health explanation is a well-worn dodge to shift the blame from ideology to loose neurons. Another Islamofascist stabbing occurred in France, Clermont-Ferrand, a lovely city of about 150,000 people in central France, was lovely until recently. Last Sunday, a Sudanese migrant went on a stabbing spree in Clermont-Ferrand, leaving at least 3 people wounded. When police arrived on the scene, the man reportedly charged at a police officer with his knife. Why did the refugee plunge his knife into pedestrians he had never met? We can't ask him because police shot him dead. We can, however, read the repeated calls from the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda urging individual Muslims to mount lone wolf attacks against innocent civilians in the West. And this is not new. In 2014, the Islamic State issued this call, so, O Muwahid, do not let this battle pass you by wherever you may be. You must strike the soldiers, patrons, and troops. Strike their police, security, and intelligence members, as well as their treacherous agents. Destroy their beds. Embitter their lives for them and busy them with themselves. If you can kill a disbelieving American or European, especially the spiteful and filthy French, or an Australian or a Canadian, or any other disbeliever from the disbelievers waging war, including the citizens of the countries that entered into a coalition against the Islamic State, then rely upon Allah and kill him in any manner or way, however it may be. If you are not able to find an IED or a bullet, then single out the disbelieving American, Frenchman, or any of their allies. Smash his head with a rock, or slaughter him with a knife, or run him over with your car, or throw him down from a high place, or choke him, or poison him. This is typical speech from Islamo-fascists. Well, a filthy French policeman sent this stabber to paradise. I wrote a lot about this jihad and the West Black Flag over Babylon. There are still some copies left on Amazon, and now to Britain. Britain has long been a stabbing center in Europe. It was there that the term "getting stabby" was coined. Well, this has two meanings in merry old England: becoming irritable and unwanted knife activity. And there is plenty of unwanted slashing and plunging stainless steel activity in London. In May, a jihad group suspected of links to Iran claimed responsibility for the stabbings of two Jewish men. The organization, the Islamic Companions of the Right Hand, claimed responsibility for the stabbings of two Jewish men in London's Golders Green neighborhood on April the 29th. I am certainly familiar with Golders Green, which has been a center of Jewish life. I am not familiar with the alleged group. This organization is a front for elements operating on behalf of the Iranian regime. And now to Germany. In April 2026, two Syrian nationals stabbed a German man to death and seriously wounded his Bosnian-Herzegovinian companion. That's not unusual. There are Muslim migrants killing people every day in Europe, just as Muslims in Europe are grooming young girls to become their sex slaves. However, I like Hugh Fitzgerald's take, who revealed the media's role in trying to conceal the perpetrator's religion. Remix News wrote, German authorities have arrested two Syrian nationals following a fatal knife attack in Pulheim, North Rhine-Westphalia, during the early hours of Sunday, April the 12th, 2026. The incident occurred in the local city park after a physical altercation broke out between several individuals. Yes, yes, true, true. But aren't we leaving something out? Is it not relevant that a Muslim stabbed a German man and a Bosnian man? Fitzgerald opines that the German media, with a handful of exceptions such as the tabloid Bild, are determined not to report on the Muslim identity of those accused of crimes. He uses strong language when he accuses the police of being collaborators with all those politicians in Germany who hide from the public both the numbers and the violent nature of crimes committed by Muslims. Yes, Hugh, I agree. And let's not neglect the ladies. In Germany, once again, a Muslim got stabby. This time the perp is a she, and an angry one at that. In April 2025, a Syrian ex-primary school teacher stabbed a girl in a playground and injured several young people. The reason? Allegedly insulting her own daughter. I want to kill this girl. This girl won't live long, was the Muslim woman's alleged battle cry before she stabbed her. Apparently, the sulfurous ex-schoolmarm was incensed that her daughter told a school friend that her mom hit her at home. So mom screamed in Arabic, I want to kill this girl. Sure. Well, she almost got her wish, but the teen lived. How many years will she get? What will the defense's excuse be? Mental health, we will see. Let me get back to you on this. Let's leave this podcast with another story from Germany. It centers on a man I consider very courageous. He is Michael Sturzenberger, an outspoken critic of the Islamization of Germany. He doesn't like the European trend towards Islam. He particularly didn't like being stabbed a few years ago by a Muslim. The attack was captured on live stream video, and the assailant stabbed 5 others in a frenzied spree. Sturzenberger spoke out against it and other ill effects of the swarms of Muslim immigrants. And this is what got him in trouble. There is no First Amendment in Germany or other meaningful protections for free speech. His hate crime, brace yourself, he opined, political Islam is the greatest threat to our security and freedom. If the responsible politicians and the mass media do not finally recognize this, there will probably be many more victims. This earned him a €3,600 fine. Well, I could go on, but I think we have exhausted the topic. Many stabbings have nothing to do with religion, but some do. In my view, they should be understood in the context of Islamofascism. And for the future, car ramming. This just in: a man plowed his car into a crowd celebrating gay pride in Berlin. And the perp? Well, his name is Abdul. Draw your own conclusions. Nothing in this podcast represents the official view of the United States government. Until the next podcast, thanks for watching. Out here.